responsibility of the Department of Building and Safety to make sure the public follows proper building codes that help keep the public safe and healthy. Because you, as an employee, give permission to people to perform construction or renovations on residential buildings, it is important to take the necessary steps to ensure the public follows laws and regulations that are designed to protect people, health, and safety. Not only can the finished product threaten safety, but the process of construction and the way construction is done can threaten the health of families, construction workers, and the general public. This video will address the problem of lead. We will discuss why lead is harmful, the laws and regulations about lead-safe work practices related to health and safety code, and what you, as a building and safety employee, can do to prevent the public from being exposed to lead. First of all, let's go over what lead is and how it affects the body. Lead is a heavy metal found naturally in the earth. It has been used for centuries in many manufactured items because of its moldable properties. More recently, lead has been used in paint. The important date to remember is 1978. Lead was banned from paint for residential purposes in 1978. Homes built before 1978 may still contain lead-based paint. As this paint chips, chalks, peels, or is disturbed by construction, the lead becomes released into the environment where people may be exposed to lead and suffer its dangerous effects. This is the probability of a house containing lead. Notice that the older the house is, the more likely it is that the house will contain lead. In Los Angeles County, 27% of houses were constructed before 1950. This map of Los Angeles County shows the places with the highest number of pre-1950 homes in green. Now look at this map. The red dots represent confirmed cases of children under the age of 6 with too much lead in their blood. Older housing puts young children at greater risk of being lead poisoned. Lead is very toxic. When lead is breathed in or swallowed, it will circulate in the blood and cause lead poisoning. Lead can affect nearly every system in the body. Examples of some health problems associated with lead poisoning include brain or nerve damage, hearing problems, slowed growth, digestive problems, and reproductive problems for adults. Here are some of the symptoms of lead poisoning. However, keep in mind that symptoms vary from person to person, and there is no obvious sign that someone is lead poisoned. Pregnant women and children under the age of 6 are especially at risk. If pregnant women are exposed to lead, lead can cross over the placenta and umbilical cord and cause damage to the fetus growing inside of her. Children are especially vulnerable to lead's toxic effects, causing learning problems, low IQ, trouble paying attention, speech, language, and behavior problems, irritability and hyperactivity, nervous system and kidney damage. High levels may cause coma, seizures, or even death. And lead-poisoned children are 7 times more likely to drop out of school. People doing construction on a home may unknowingly poison children and families by creating a lead hazard in and around the home being worked on, or by taking lead dust home to their families on their shoes and clothing. Now that we've discussed lead's harmful effects, let's talk about what's being done to protect the public from lead poisoning. Anyone who does work on a pre-1978 dwelling with possible or confirmed presence of lead should use lead-safe work practices. Lead-safe work practices entail protecting the community by keeping family and neighbors away from paint dust and chips, preparing the work area properly according to federal guidelines, using the proper safety equipment to protect workers during construction, working wet by spraying or wiping the painted surface with water before and during sanding or scraping to reduce the spread of lead dust. And making sure that cleanup is ongoing by cleaning up dust and paint chips during construction and once construction is done, using wet mops and a HEPA vacuum. Law requires a final check and making sure all lead hazards are removed before completing construction. In this video, you learned about the harmful effects of lead, which are especially dangerous for pregnant women and children. You also learned about the laws, such as California SB 460 and the federal RRP rule, which were designed to protect the public from lead poisoning. Last, you learned what you can do to keep the public safe from lead poisoning. Remember, no one needs to be affected by lead poisoning. You can do a lot to prevent the public from being exposed to lead.